And as I began to engage it from that level, really putting, my money where my mouth is, really becoming my own best advocate rather than waiting for somebody else to be that, I developed the character and the capacity, because I was now circulating those qualities within me, feeling them, that eventually allowed me to do the work and the consistent work that eventually got me an agent. Then I got the agent. I was like, okay, now you're going to take the book, you're going to sell it, and they're going to go off and they're going to help me build a platform. And my agent was like, no, that's not going to work. You need to do it. And I was like, pissed off. I was like, what do you mean? I'm the artist. I'm the author, man. I'm the artiste. I don't build platforms and do that kind of groundwork. And she was like, well, then you're not going to be an author for long or ever, really. And so I had to again say, what is the thing I think I'm going to get someday? How is that going to make me feel if eventually I was to get all that recognition and all those results? And I got clear on what I would feel and how I'd feel about myself, and I began to give it to myself by asking if I already felt this way, if I already believed in myself this way. And here's what I discovered. I discovered I didn't really believe in myself or my work. I discovered that I was waiting for the world to validate me, then I would fully show up, then I would believe in me. And so by asking and doing this work, I discovered I didn't really believe in it, because she was saying I needed to go out and teach it and coach and blog and podcast and whatever. And I realized, first of all, I was a little bit lazy, I realized, because I hadn't built the muscles by circulating and generating the energy, and that I didn't really believe. And so when I asked myself if I believed in me fully, if I already was the star author that I wanted to be or whatever, how would I feel? How would I show up? What would I do? And I began to do that. Again, circulation increased, generation increased. And suddenly, whereas the first time around she went around with the book, everybody rejected it. That's when we actually had that conversation. Then when I began to do this work I'm talking about, opening these channels, generating this energy, suddenly I didn't have more money, I didn't have more time than anybody else, but I was able to focus it. All of a sudden, bam, things started growing. I started building a presence in the community. The book proposal went out, multiple offers this time. How did that happen? Where did that come from? It came from the energy I was now generating into my environment. There was more circulation now. Or let's look at another gift, giving away. This is one people really love. This is the second gift, or I don't know what order it is, but this is about all the stuff you've got in your house that's cluttering up your house. By the way, I'm telling you guys these examples because these are things you guys can, and I highly encourage you to do this week. And so the giving away is you've got all this stuff in your home, your car, your closets, your drawers, clutter, garbage. Like, what is a junk drawer? You guys heard of that, right? A junk drawer? That's just a horizontal trash can. Like, what? Why do we do that? We put all this broken stuff we're never, ever going to need or use in a drawer. Well, your house is filled, and your office and your car and your garage, with all kinds of stuff you don't need, you've never used, or you're not going to use again. It's stuck energy. It's a stuck emotional story. That stack of subscriptions that you bought from listening to a late-night info commercial, and you've never gotten rid of them because you're committed that you're going to someday read them, so you don't feel so guilty for buying them. You're never going to read them. I'm sorry to tell you, you're never going to read them, okay? So it's all stuck energy. And the universe, in other words, there's no circulation. And so what happens, you've created an energetic swamp so that the next, can't come into your life. Do you see that? So now here's a perfect example of this. Again, in The Magic Art of Tidying Up, a phenomenal bestseller, it sold like millions of copies. In one of her chapters, she even says, there's almost something mystical about releasing all the clutter in your life that does not bring you joy, that you don't really need. And I was like, yes, I've been teaching that. And it's true. So my partner, partner recently, she went to her mother's in Canada because they've been trying to sell the house, no offers, no movement, just stuck. And I was talking to her about this and everything, and she decided, I think on her own inspiration, to go and with her mom to start getting rid of a lot of stuff, going into the basement, literally. What a metaphor, right? And, the unconscious, the basement, getting rid of all this stuff, going into her own bedroom, which was a big emotional attachment for the mom. She didn't want to let go of all this stuff because it had so much emotional meaning, and emotionally she really had not yet let go of the fact that her daughters had grown up and left, that she had a different life, but she wasn't living the different life. So physically, by removing all this stuff, it did bring up some very deep conversations and some great release and relief and a level of joy the mother had. But that's not all. 24 hours later, they got their first offer, and a great offer on the house, and possibly and most likely the one they're going to take. It wasn't selling. It wasn't moving. The mother was unhappy, depressed. All they did was clear out all this junk, allow it to bring up the emotion, process the feeling. 24 hours later, the house got offered to buy. And it got offered more than they even thought they could get. And the house wasn't selling because of all these foundational issues, which everybody told them you'll never be able to sell it because of that. See what I mean? Outer conditions, buying into that BS belief system. What did you guys think I meant? And then that didn't matter. That was not stopping them. It was this stuck energy. So these are the 7 gifts. And you must ultimately unclog and unclutter and open all of these 7 channels so that they start circulating this massive energy in your life. And again, at the end here, I'm going to talk about how to do this in a step-by-step, proper sequential way so that you get all these channels just like, you ever seen a picture of those dams where they open up all those sluice gates and all this water just pours out of these different channels? And it's just massive and powerful and energy generating. That's what we're going to do for your life, energetically, emotionally. And that's going to create this current that's going to become currency for your life. You get it? Is this all starting to come together now? Now, so those are the 7 gifts. We're not going to go into all of them right now, obviously. We'd be here for days and weeks if I tried to teach every single piece about this. But the next big piece then is, now as you're opening up the channels of yourself, now you have to understand about how to open up the channels of the world. But let's stop, let's take a breath and breathe in what we've just talked about. Feel the immense, untapped power that's in you right now. Understand that the reason why you're not experiencing the life you want is these channels are blocked. They're corroded, they're calcified, either because they've never been truly fully opened or because of a misunderstanding of the law of circulation, holding on, giving away, not circulating. They become, you know how like piping gets corroded, like you close up your winter house and you come back in the summer and you turn on the pipes and the whole house shakes like it's going to explode and it makes all these bad noises and all this munk and junk and muck and dirt comes out of the pipes. That's like a metaphor for what's in our channels. And it's the emotional debris that's become mud and swampy, and we got to start circulating that again, okay? So then you open up the channels of the world by the 3 core things that you've heard from biblical days: ask, seek, and knock. Ask and it shall be given. Knock and the door will be open. Seek and you shall find. Most people, again, don't understand what that means. But when you really understand the model that we're building here, you understand that nobody in the world is your source now, right? It's all within you. But everybody is your channel. Nobody is your source. Everybody is your channel. The source is the same for everybody. It's within everybody. You can only access it within you. But the same source I'm accessing in me is the same source you access in you. One source. But I can't access my source by trying to get it from you. But if I access my source and start circulating it from me, that's opening up my channels, that gets it going. But then if I ask you, that allows you to open up and become a channel of the source for me. Now, it's not coming from you, it's coming through you, but it's coming from me. You get it? And so asking is the way you open up the channels of the world. Knocking, seeking. So, like, for example, I wanted to travel the world and do a speaking tour years ago, and I didn't know where to begin, and I didn't have the money, and I began doing all the stuff I'm talking about right now. But I didn't just sit still and do nothing and wish and dream and visualize and think a red bike's going to appear at my front door like in the movie The Secret. I did have to do all this inner work. And then I did have to start generating this energy in the way I'm talking about. But then I also had to seek and ask and knock, meaning I went into the world and I began, or I did this also with when I wanted to get our first dream home, when we couldn't even begin to, we could barely afford our rent. And I went into the world and I began to knock on doors and ask, how do you get a house? I began to, how do you build a world tour? I began to research it. I began to create an itinerary. I began to seek the knowledge. And I didn't just seek it a little bit until I was scared, tired, bored, frustrated. I kept seeking until I got the answers I needed. I didn't just knock on one door. I kept knocking until I got the help I needed. I didn't just ask once. I kept asking until I got the result I wanted. And so, and eventually, through all these steps, went from living in a little apartment to getting our dream home in about 3 months. From no way can you afford that, people think I'm crazy, to dream home. From no way do I have an idea how to build a world tour to maybe 2 or 3 months, I don't remember the exact time, bam, I've got a client suddenly reaches out to me, wants me to come to Dubai, and before I'm done negotiating, I've got a first-class plane ticket, $15,000 plane ticket. I'm traveling to Dubai, to London, to Paris, to Rome, all from doing this work. But I didn't just generate it and circulate it. I had to go out and seek and knock and ask. Many of you have gifts, talents, and abilities that you're trying to put out there and you're not charging anything for. You're not asking for what you're worth. Many of you are in relationships where you know you want something more, but you're not asking. Now remember, that's part of the circulation. You definitely have to give to yourself. That's why I'm building this model. Notice how I'm said sequence is everything. I didn't start off by saying you have to go ask. That's what a lot of you have done before you've had it inside of you, before you turned it on, and then you were asking from a place of lack. And as a result, you either came across to them needy or desperate, you felt guilty, ashamed, apologetic, and you couldn't stay in the conversation long enough to get what you needed. Right? So there is a sequence here. So you have to ask, and I make this analogy of, like you walk up to a party, like there's a door, and you look in the window, and everybody's having a great time, and you're like, God, why won't they let me in? I want to be part of that party. Look at that good food. Look at that beautiful woman or handsome man. I want to be in there. God, why won't they let me in? And you wait, and you wait, and you wait. You get frustrated. You start to think, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with them? What's wrong with this neighborhood, man? God, why have you forsaken me? And you look in one more time, you feel really bad, and you walk away. Well, what's missing from that picture? You never knocked. You never knocked. And you're like, see, Derek, I did everything. I generated, I circulated, I felt confident, and I showed up at the party, and they didn't let me in. This sucks. This doesn't work. Again, not the right sequence, not the complete sequence, not the complete circulation, not the complete circuit. You didn't knock. They couldn't let you in. They didn't even know you were there. So you must ask. You must knock. You must seek. And now you might be going, well, exactly how does this pertain to my rent? Or, obviously I can't break down every single example. What I want you to get here is the gestalt, the big picture, the model. So you can start to see how all the pieces do actually fit and how you start to feel a resonance with it. So that, because I need you to get that this was real so that you even have the juice and the energy to be willing to do the work. Because it does take work, folks. It's not magic. That's why I said you have to let go of your wishbone and get a backbone. It's not magic. And by the way, that's another little piece that I wasn't even going to talk about, but I will talk briefly, is this whole idea that it shouldn't be hard. That, oh, if it's not in the flow, it must be a sign from the universe it's not meant to be. Oh, that door's closed in my face, or, oh, this is hard and challenging, it's a struggle, therefore it must mean, you know, I'm just not wired for this. It's the universe telling me, blah, blah, blah. That's another one of the ways that spiritual New Age gobbledygook has done malpractice on us. That is not true at all, not even a little. It is hard work. You think it was easy for Jesus or Buddha or Mother Teresa or Steve Jobs or Elon Musk or Oprah Winfrey or Lincoln or Edison or Disney, or pick your leader, your expert, your spiritual guru? You think it's been easy for anyone to ever actualize their potential? Never, not even once. And all those people out there telling you it is are either not actually getting any results, so they're just completely naive, or they're lying. Because it's not. But there is a simple ultimate recipe or blueprint, whatever you want to call it, but then it takes, you have to, again, that's why I'm saying, you have to know how to develop the practice and the aerodynamic organization of these elements so that it's a way of life that allows you to have the energy, that allows you to have the clarity, that allows you to have the confidence and the competence and ultimately the courage and the strength to do the right things day by day that eventually build these permanent habits, build a new character that allows your life to take flight. And most teachers and experts don't want to tell you that because if it sounds, they're afraid, oh, if it sounds hard, people won't want to do it. So they either don't tell you the truth, and then you get involved, and then it's hard, and then you think it shouldn't be, and then you quit. Or you don't have the right elements, or it's, like I said, it's not principle-based, it's personal-based, it's a map that they followed, and it doesn't work for you. So I'm giving you the breakdown of principles that work for everyone, no matter what country, culture, company, whatever, conditions, and I'm giving you the truth. I'm giving you the respect to tell you the truth, that anyone that wants to build the life they truly desire and ultimately deserve, and the lifestyle where you have wealth and abundance, enough to do the work you're here for, to leave the legacy, to live a legendary life, to make a difference, to enjoy the heaven out of this place. You're designed for it. It's your destiny. You're meant for it. It won't just happen to you. It will happen just, meaning by the proper understanding of the laws and the principles. And then it will require a commitment. But I got to tell you, if you think that's hard, how hard is it to keep suffering and struggling and saying, I can't afford it? How hard is it to keep suffering and struggling and be in relationships that don't work or be alone? How hard is it to keep working that job that you hate and not living the life and doing the work that you love? It's way harder, way more suffering. I know Ben and Jerry's makes it feel a little better. I'm with you. I didn't have Ben and Jerry's last night. I had some other kind of chocolate peanut butter ice cream. But I get it. A nice plate of nachos makes you forget your troubles for a moment. But you know as well as I do that it's not permanent. And in fact, you end up feeling even worse the next day or the next week. So it works if you work it, and I'm going to show you how to create that aerodynamic life that allows you to finally have this. Now, before I jump into questions, which I'm going to do, I've already given you some very specific practices and exercises, and I'll give you some more. I want to talk about the opportunity to create this aerodynamic life finally, the opportunity to finally have the daily practice, the clear map, and the structure and the support system so that this time you actually stay the course until you get results. This time when you bump into all those reasons why you're going to quit, why it's not working, you don't quit. You don't give up. You keep going until you get results. I'm all about results. I want you to have these stories of getting your dream home and launching your dream business and finding your dream partner and having abundance and all those things. And I know I can help you do that. I've helped thousands and thousands of people do it. I've done it myself over and over through thick and thin. But I know what it requires. And it requires more than just what I hope is a very information and inspiration-packed training call right now. You know, unless you are the most self-starting, proactive person in the world, and I've been a pretty self-starting, proactive person, you need help. And I did it on my own for a long time, and I just kept bumping myself up against the walls and the ceilings until I finally put it together in structures and got the help and support I needed to be held accountable. And again, to be in an environment that's activated like this one is. So again, I'm going to get to your questions in a moment, but I want to first direct you and talk to you about the Awakened Wealth Mastery program and process. And I invite those of you that are like, oh, now he's going to sell us something, click, I'm going to get off the line. That's fine if you do. That's what you always do probably if that's the case. But I really want to invite you to listen for the first time. And listen that this is not something separate from everything we've been talking about today. This is an extension of it. I'm giving you gold in terms of the principles that work. I know I'm giving you more actual hard information than a lot of calls give, and that's both a blessing and a curse. Some people love it, some people hate it. They say I give them too much. But now I want to give you the opportunity to turn that knowledge into power. It's got to be acted upon, it's got to be activated, and ultimately integrated into your way of life. So the Awakened Wealth program is what I put together after years of doing it myself, so that I know how these principles go together and the practices that put you into alignment with them, that build the aerodynamic life that can fly. Okay? I'm not saying it's a life without turbulence, but it's a life that can make it through the turbulence, that can fly finally, that can get off the ground finally. A lot of you have been circling the runway. That's why the average person doesn't live 60 to 90 years. They live the same year 60 to 90 times. Because they bump into the hard times, they bump into the threshold, they don't understand the principles, and they either quit, back away, start all over, take a different path, and begin it all over again. You guys know what I'm talking about. We've all done that. Shiny object syndrome, not making any real lasting progress. That's not what's going to happen for you this year. That's my commitment. So if you click on the button on Instant Teleseminar, excuse me, where it says Awaken Wealth or Awaken Wealth Mastery, that'll give you the page that really breaks down all the information that's in this program, but I'm going to talk about it. Also, readytobewealthy.com, ReadyToBewealthy, readytobewealthy.com. Okay? Go there. This is the one and only time I'm doing this program live this year. In fact, it's the only time I've done it live in over 2 years. So I don't even do it every year, okay, guys? So I really want you to know that if you value this information, if you resonate with it, if you feel like I can help you, and I know I can, but, it's like Jerry Maguire, help me to help you. If you feel that inner yes, please keep listening. Pay attention so I can show you what's in here and how it's going to take everything we've been talking about and finally make it real in your life. So in this program, you're going to get the entire breakdown of all core 8 stages and modules, deep dive, step-by-step information, practices, exercises, and implementation. The right principles in the right order, the right stacking sequence. You're going to get the entire thing. It's taken me hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars to figure it out, and that's for real, and that's probably underestimating, and over 2 decades. Sorry, I've been talking a lot, as you guys can imagine. So you're going to get all of that. That's the starting point. Then we're going to go through it for the next 8 weeks live together. We're going to get on calls like this and longer than this because I'll stay on the calls as long as I need to support you guys, where I'm going to coach you step by step so I understand your issues, how to implement it in your life. we're going to go deep, and we're going to go granular, and we're going to get practical. We're going to look at your real numbers. We're not just going to get airy-fairy and just down the rabbit hole. We're going to also look at the real numbers and show you how to create what I call your money mastery matrix, right? Which includes several specific pieces to the overall wealth vision plan. And that includes your monthly money goal, which is specifically how much do you need right now to have enough to pay your bills and some buffer. Your miracle money goal, which is a 40-day goal we're going to set to make or break or exceed your expectations. And in this condensed, compressed, highly activated environment, I've seen people literally make miracles. That's why I actually ended up naming it that. People come in with tons of debt, I've seen people eliminate debt within days of just joining the program. And that's because all of this energy is already in kind of like a energetic escrow account, but it's not getting out because there's not that circulation, remember? Or like a hose, you've been turning it up with all your prayers and affirmations and desires, but it's got all these kinks in it, so it's dribbling at the end and probably springing a leak. So when we're going to get that hose straightened out, we're going to open up that channel again, and for a lot of people, it's like whoosh, instant breakthroughs, instant healings, instant opportunities, and I'm not exaggerating. So that's why I called it the miracle money goal. So we're going to get that clear. Then we're going to build your money freedom goal, which is what would it look like, feel like, and what do you need to earn to have all of your needs met without you having to struggle or strive for it anymore, or in some cases even work at all. So you literally are retired on paper. And then we're going to build your money mastery goal, which is that grand vision of your life, that vision of you fully living, fully giving, fully creating, making your impact, living the lifestyle you dream of. What's that going to cost? What's that going to take? And then we're going to boil that down into a plan and into the practices so that you build an aerodynamic life, a private jet level life that can take you to that destination, okay? And it's not just about money, although I know that's an issue for a lot of you, and we must master it. It's hard to be a light in the world if you can't pay your light bill, okay? But it's also about, as you master these principles, I'm going to show you how they will create the same level of abundance in every area. I've been telling you about it. I'm in the love affair of my lifetime right now because of this work. Being treated and seen and supported by friends and community in the last just year and a half. The level of deep friendships and community that has sprung up around me. It feels like magic. I know it's not, but it feels like it. I have a new book out. My business is growing. I'm more inspired and creative than ever. My family culture is growing more beautiful than ever. My kids are thriving. After having gone through serious issues and problems, it was very touch and go with my son last year. Like all of these things. So I want you to see that this works in every area. Okay? But we are going to be focusing to get your wealth, money thing for sure clarified because, like I said, it's hard to live a vision if you can't fund it. But I'm going to show you how to start turning on all these spigots and fire hoses in your life even before you have the money, all the money to do it, okay? So we're going to build that. So again, if you don't know what I'm reading from or talking about, go to readytobewealthy.com or click on the link in the Instant Teleseminar page. It's the page that's playing right now, whether you're in live or replay mode. It'll bring you to the Awaken Wealth Mastery page, and you can see everything that's in the program. So we're going to build this blueprint for your life. Then we're going to break it down into what are the habits of thinking, feeling, being, and doing that will create the character that will allow you to have this life, to own this life, to own it. You don't own it if you don't have the character. So we're going to show you how to become the person, as Gandhi said, become the change you want to see in the world. And we're going to build that over the next, 40-some days. I think it's like 48 days or 50 days or whatever during this period of the program when it starts. So that you're going to build permanent, sustainable, lifelong habits of wealth and success. That's the key. And you're going to build the way of life, the daily practice, the ways of thinking, the ways of showing up in your current experiences, job, business, relationship, the ways of treating yourself, the ways of managing your business, asking for what you want, charging what you're worth, and ultimately making a living doing what you love. We're going to build that plan, that practice, and the overall life structure so that this is sustainable. Because as I said, your life structure as it is will not take you to where you want to go. It's a plane that won't fly, or it's made out of balsa wood, and sometimes it flies and sometimes it doesn't because it's held together by a rubber band. And I'm not judging your life. I know what I'm talking about in terms of where we are all at different stages. You might be doing good on one level, but not another. So we're going to build that life so that it's a vehicle that can get you there sustainably. The one you've got right now is designed to keep you where you are. That's actually the way it works, right? Now, in addition to that, to really support you in that, this is designed based on all of my experience on where do people fall off track, where do they lose things, where does it stop working. You're going to also get a private wealth breakthrough coaching session with one of my master coaches where you're going to be able to design your own personal wealth blueprint with them and get under the covers of your own personal unconscious patterns sabotaging your success so that you can design this. It's a personalized design going forward. That's a $600 coaching session, and I have to pay them, but you guys get it for free as part of this program. You're also going to get the support of these master coaches and me in the Awaken Wealth Mastery Mastermind group. 24/7, you're going to be there getting supported by everybody else in the group, by me, by my coaches, by my staff, by my team, and answering questions, really helping you along the way. You're also going to get an accountability partner within that group so that you have a personal buddy that's going to support you through this whole process and vice versa. Super critical. And then you're also going to get me doing quantum healing work for you personally every single day. And without explaining all the details of what that is, for those of you who don't know, it's a spiritual or energetic practice and process, and many of you feel it and will feel it. You'll be going through your day and suddenly feel happy or suddenly feel uplifted and not know why, and then you're going to reach out and say, hey, were you praying? Yep, I was. Oh, okay, cool, I felt it. Some of you won't feel it. Doesn't matter. But whether you feel it or not, it's mitigating the lower frequencies in the group. It's activating the higher frequencies. It's creating more energy. And then as a group, where two or more are gathered in agreement principle, it's like pulling in behind a semi and you get sucked into the updraft. So this energetic vortex, this morphic field or attractor pattern, which is a real thing, again, it's not woo-woo, it's actually scientific, it's going to start working on you even before you work on yourself. And it's going to work on you and through you and for you throughout the entire program. Don't worry, it's not going to do anything you don't want. It's not impinging anything on you. It's helping to clear out the cobwebs. It's helping to clean up the lower vibrational frequencies that are keeping you stuck and giving you more energy so that you can do the work you need, stay focused, stay clear, stay on track until you get results. So you're going to get the private coach session. You're going to get the healing work from me every day. You're going to get the mastermind group where me, my coaches, my staff, and each other are going to support you. You're going to get an accountability partner to support you. You're going to get the entire blueprint map, principle by principle, practice by practice, in a simple step-by-step way in the right order and sequence to build this plane, to build this aerodynamic life, bolt by bolt. And you're going to get specific support on healing these unconscious patterns, the shame, the guilt, the fear, the shadows, the wealth shadows, the values conflicts. Most of you are trying to drive with one foot on the gas and one foot on the brakes. And that's why you're stuck. That's why you're burning out the engine. Because your values conflicts and shadows, wealth shadows, are literally blocking the flow and the circulation. You're also going to get a bonus of a membership in the Emergence Academy, where you're going to get to have additional trainings and coaching and support live, and the 90-day Ask Derek Anything, so that even after the group is over, you're going to get additional support in the Awaken Wealth Mastermind. So that's the entire Awaken Wealth program, Mastery Edition, that used to sell on its own for $2,000. Just that. You're going to get that entire thing. You're going to get the 5 weeks of live immersive coaching and healing from me, and then 3 more weeks of wealth integration workshops on how to charge what you're worth and ask for anything you want, how to make a living doing what you love, how to, spring cleaning a lot of the limited beliefs, and a whole lot more. You're going to get the quantum healing, the private breakthrough session with a master coach. You're also going to get a free ticket to my next live 3-day immersion event. 1 month free in the Emergence Academy. By the way, my last time I did the live event, people came in, we had hundreds of people there. People came in that were literally on crutches, literally, this isn't an exaggeration. Another person there was a shut-in for, I think, several years. And lots of people in various states of depression and confusion, no idea their purpose and how to do it. That one person on crutches danced out without crutches. That one shut-in who had these thick, dark glasses because she couldn't handle the light, no glasses, dancing, smiling, had literally dropped a decade off of her face. People crazy healings. So again, that's the power of the group dynamic. You're going to get a 3-day free event, a ticket to that. The Emergence Academy, the 90-day Ask Derek Anything. It's like an extended warranty. All of that, if you look on the page, you'll see all of that. It's over $7,000 of actual programs, products, events, coaching, no fluff, no filler, over $7,000. And you get all of that for just $600 or $597. Or you can start for just a payment of $147 and then use this work over the next month to generate the energy to make the next payment. So I've made it super, super easy. And again, just the coaching session with my master coach, if you were to just buy one of those sessions alone, is $597. Just the Awaken Wealth Mastery program itself, if you were to buy that a year and a half or a couple years ago, was $2,000 without all the live stuff. Okay? So you're getting all of that for $597. 8 weeks, live, in-depth, immersive, with me, with my coaches, with each other, to create this aerodynamic life that finally gives your dreams and your wealth flight in your life for $597. What is that? That's like, I don't know, the cost of Starbucks for a couple months, right? Maybe that's not your Starbucks bill. I think it might be mine. But, probably a couple outfits in your closet you've never worn or worn once, a pair of shoes or two, are worth that much. And if your car broke down today and you had to get to your job you hate tomorrow and it was going to cost you $597 to fix it, you would find a way to fix your broken down car to get to the job you hate. You'd have to, right? But this is a vehicle that's going to get you to the life that you love. And if you're bumping into, very typical resistance, well, what if it doesn't work for me? It will only not work for you if you don't work it. I promise. I guarantee it. Because it's principle, it's not personal. And that question is really a veiled straw man argument, which is really saying, I'm afraid. I'm afraid of getting my heart broken or getting disappointed, and so I don't want to try anymore. And if that's the case, you've already given up. And because there's really only ever two choices. We can choose life, or we can choose death. We can choose to grow, or we can choose to stop growing, right? And I'm not trying to be dramatic. That's just the truth. So that statement, I'm afraid it won't work, it doesn't matter. All that matters is, are you resonating with the truth and the principles? And is there something inside of you that's saying, I want to do this? I'm afraid that it won't work. I'm afraid I don't have the time or the energy or the money. but I know there's something here for me. I feel it. I feel the resonance. Derek's a little crazy, talks really fast, talks a lot, but what he's saying actually makes some sense. And I want this help, and it's my time, damn it. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired and broke. Sick, tired, and broke. At least you're not ugly. No, I'm just kidding. So, but like literally, right? Like there's this part of you that's like, I have to do this now. Now's the time. I need to do the work I'm meant for. I need to have the life. I need to stop struggling. I'm tired of saying I can't afford it. I'm tired of looking at my children and wondering, am I modeling something for them that's constructive or destructive? I'm tired of being alone. I'm tired of being unhealthy. I'm tired of not being able to fund my vision. I'm tired of being tired. Well, that's not going to just change, folks. You're the change you're waiting for. And this work will help you become that change if you say yes to your yes. You're not saying yes to my yes. You're not even saying yes to my dreams. You're saying yes to your dreams. You have a dream. You have a vision. You have a yes. And if you're resonating, and if you're still listening after, what, almost 3 hours we've been on the phone here? Is that possible? No, 2 hours. 2 hours almost. You've already know your answer. And I'm not trying to convince you to do anything. I'm not on the other side of the table. I'm on the same side with you, taking your proverbial hand and saying, do you want the change we're talking about? Do you want the change I'm describing? Do you resonate with the principles I'm laying out? Do you believe me when I say all these examples I've given, that I've had, that my clients have had? And are you resonating? Then what are you waiting for? And I understand the waiting, but I also know that whatever you're waiting for, you're waiting with, and you're weighing it down, and you're holding it back. And your channels are getting more and more stagnant and blocked. That I know for sure. And I know that if you say yes to your yes, step out on that invisible bridge like Indiana Jones, which is actually called the path of God, it will start appearing beneath your feet, and then me and my team can come in and be the construction helpers that build the scaffolding below it so that it's permanent. But you need to step out. Again, not for us, but for you. If you don't step out, if you don't say yes to your yes, the next stage of your life can't happen. Now, if you know a better place to get everything you need here, if you know a better person or program or way to get the results we're talking about, if it's been explained and articulated in a way that resonates more for you, by all means, go do that. I mean it. But if you're resonating with this, and if it sounds true and you want it, but it's a yes, but, you need to take your butt out of your mouth. It's very bad yoga, okay? Maybe you're a contortionist and you do it very comfortably, but in general, bad anatomy. Bad yoga. Butt in mouth, not good. You need to take the butt out. Because what the butt is all the ego thresholds. It's the way the ego is stopping you from changing by convincing you that you can't or tricking you that you are. It sounds like, oh, I've got enough here. I'm going to go do this on my own now. You've done it before. How's that working for you? I did it for years. Or I'll do this next year. How many times have you said that? I'll do it when I move. I got too much to deal with my move. I'll do it when my work slows down. I'll do it when my mom's not sick. I'll do it when my kids are off school or back in school. I'll do it when my husband gets his promotion, etc., etc. And these are all thresholds of the ego that has had millennia to get very good at this, at stopping us from growing. Because the job of the ego is not to grow us, it's to keep us the same. Because the ego is just a program. And to the ego, real change is death. Believe it or not, if you were to go from where you are right now, whatever degree of struggle or lack or limitation, and fear and confusion and whatever, and suddenly over the next several weeks and months, move into a state of confidence and clarity and creating the work you love and beginning to make more money and have the life and the if you're to your ego, that is, even me telling your ego that is torture. To your ego, that's death. Or at least what it's going to actually take to get that, you're going to have to change. To your ego, that's death. So that's what's coming up right now is a microcosm of all the ways you stop yourself every time you're on the verge of real growth and real change. That's why for many of us, our soul literally has to create a crisis. It has to literally bring us to our knees, break us down or make us broke in order to get us to break through. Well, we don't have to do that, and I don't want you to have to do any more of that. Let's just agree that we've all done enough of that for all of us. Enough suffering and striving and struggling and being broke and breaking down to get our breakthroughs. We've got an opportunity here together to take all of our wealth and abundance, mindset, and consciousness to the next level, to change the legacy in our families, in our lineage, for even our ancestors and our predecessors, and ultimately to create a world that works for the highest good of all. I think we need that right now, don't you? This is what we're going to do together. Yes, we're going to show you how to pay your rent. Yes, we're going to show you how to make a living doing what you love. We're going to heal a lot of the baggage around wealth and success, asking for what you want, charging what you're worth, having clarity, focus, commitment, follow through, becoming leaders in our own life and ultimately in the world in our own way. Okay? But you have to say yes to your yes. And I've tried to do everything I can to make this as comprehensive as I can and as inexpensive as I can without it costing me money. So, because that would not be smart business as a very basic principle. If you think you've got enough to go do it on your own and you know from experience you will do it, by all means go. If there's somewhere else you can get it better, go. But if this is the best chance you've got right now, this is the only time I'm doing it, perhaps for the next couple of years. Like I said, it's been 2 years since I did it. So take this opportunity, please, and let me get in there and work with you and for you and help you finally take your life and your abundance to the next level, okay? Just click on the link in Instant Teleseminar. You'll see everything there. You can scroll down, click on the buttons, or go to readytobewealthy.com. Click on that. And here's one last thing I'll give you. This is a principle. It's a little trick. If you're still scared, still bumping up against resistance, click on the buy button, whichever one you like. Fill out the form, but don't submit it. That's all. Fill it out, leave it on your desktop. Why am I saying that? One of the principles for emergence is you have to lean in as far as you can to the dream that you want, to the reality that you want. So lean in all the way. Every single one of you can fill out that form. Even if you don't submit it, every one of you can, no matter how much money you have, no matter how much you're afraid. So do that. If you feel some resonance, say yes to your yes as far as you can. Fill it all out. And then use it as like a vision board and look at it from time to time today. And at some point, you might finally feel the energy circulate enough where you overcome or even dissolve some of those fear-based patterns and you're ready to hit submit. Do you follow what I'm saying here? But if you don't even click on the button, think about this, guys. This is a perfect analogy. If you don't even click, if you're resonating and you want this, but you're immediately saying, I don't know if it'll work, I don't trust it, I'm afraid, I don't have the time, the energy, the money, and so you don't even click. That is a metaphor for what you're doing in your life. When I wanted my dream home, everybody said, you're crazy, you're stupid, why are you wasting your time? That was analogous to them not even clicking. I clicked the button, the buy now button for the dream house. I then went to the real estate people in the model homes. I filled out the applications. I leaned in all the way, and what happened is that began circulating. And then a new idea would pop up, a new insight, a new opportunity. Suddenly I'd bump into somebody else. Oh yeah, try this out. And the same exact thing is possible for you. Click on the button. Every one of you can click. Every one of you can fill it out. You don't have to submit it. But obviously I encourage you to, but lean into, practice saying yes to your yes. Circulate the energy. See what it feels like. It's kind of scary even just to click on the button, isn't it? Great. That means you're going to generate more energy by doing it. It's really scary to fill out the application if you haven't committed. Awesome. Now you're generating even more energy, and you've just gone past the threshold. I'm getting so jazzed just talking about this because I want you to see the analogy. This is exactly what we do all the time in our life. Now you're in another one of those moments. Click and fill out. Lean into your yes. And start to not say, I can't afford it, but ask, how can I, life? I'm clicking, I'm filling out, show me the way. Show me how I can afford it. What can I sell? What can I get rid of and sell? Who can I ask to support me and maybe make an investment in me? What's the innovative, creative way that I can say yes to my yes? Again, the difference between the winners and the whiners are the ones that say, that ask bad questions like, why me? Why me, God? Why isn't this working for me? Versus a good question, how me? How can it be me? How can I afford this? How can I make this happen? And then they get innovative. They get creative. They realize there's never a lack of resources, but there's often a lack of resourcefulness. But guess what? You can always be more resourceful. And if you're more resourceful, look at the word, resourceful. You are full of source again. You are more full of source, which is the source of the resources, which is why I say don't lean on resource, lean on the source. And then you begin to activate, circulate, and the ideas and the solutions to be able to say yes to your yes more and more, they start flowing into your life because you're circulating again by being resourceful, by clicking the button, by filling out the application. And I'm using that as a metaphor. But I'm also encouraging you and urging you to do it now. Click on the button on the Instant Teleseminar page, takes you to the page that details the program. Click on the full pay or the payment plan. I guarantee every single one of you can find a way to find $147 to get in this program for the next month or more and start generating and circulating enough energy to find another $147. I guarantee it. And I'm going to work with you to make it so. So click on the button or go to readytobewealthy.com. Click on the buy button, each version, fill out the application, and then watch energy start to circulate, get innovative, get creative, and come join us and play with us so you can look back on this moment and say that was the moment where everything turned around. That was the moment I stopped falling prey to this pattern, the same old pattern. I can't afford it, I don't have the time, the energy, I'll do it next week, next month, next year, I'm afraid it's not going to work. I'm done with that pattern. No more. This is my year. This is my time. Let's do this together, folks. All right? So I'm going to answer some questions now. I'm going to start by going into the Q&A. If you have questions on the line, let's start with any questions you have about the program or any questions you have about, like, I want to do it, Derek, but I'm afraid about this, or I don't understand that. I'm confused about this or that. And then we'll go from there, okay? Just to make sure that you're all crystal clear about what is the program, what's in it, how does it work, will it work for you specifically or your issue, and then we can move on to deeper questions if there's still those remaining. So let me go into, I love when you guys leave messages in the Q&A box where you leave it like a text. You do like one sentence, and then you submit, and then another sentence, and then you submit, and then another sentence. It's pretty funny. Okay. It's funny how we get trained, right, into habits. I'm just clicking through some of these and then seeing which ones I can actually answer. And getting through some of the questions that were put in here before we even started, which is a lot of them at first. And then meanwhile, if you have a question for me, you can hit *2 on the line if you're on the call. Okay. Funny, some of you online hit *2, like on your computer, I guess, but if you're not on an actual telephone device of some kind or Skype, you're not going to be able to talk to me. You have to leave it as an actual text message. Okay. Well, there's certainly a lot of questions in advance of the webinar. I'll tell you what. There's so many of these. I'm going to start with you guys live on the phone. Now I'm seeing a bunch of you, oh my God, the limit's been reached. I can't get in. I've fallen and I can't get up. Okay. Let me start with the live one. So hit *2 if you have a question and you're on the line. So we'll start there. Let's go over here to Anita in Sweden. Hey there, Anita. Can you hear me? Anita, can you hear me? Hello, hello. Let me try another line, make sure you guys can still hear me. Lydia, can you hear me? And I think it's Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Great. What's your question, my dear?
Oh, well, I guess I did raise my hand, but I don't really have a question. Oh my goodness.
Well, that's okay. You don't have to make one up if you don't have one. Well, let me ask you this. Are you going to come play with us in the program?
I'm already involved in another program, but I thank you very much, and it is wonderful stuff.
Okay. So what's keeping you on the line this long? Is it just you're just liking the information?
Oh, yes, I like to soak in a lot of things, and I liked your 7 giving principles, and so I just like to, basically get a lot of different, I like to hear the things that resonate and just keep on, being in the study.
Got it. So what I would encourage you to do is make sure you're not just in the study. I've known a lot of people studying for a long, long time, and after years of studying, they still don't have results, or the results they really want. That's why I said before, knowledge alone is not power. Only knowledge that is acted on in the right sequence so that it becomes activated and ultimately integrated, that's what's powerful. So if the program you're in already is making it an embodied, real experience in your life and giving you the results, then like I said before, more power to you. If it's not giving you that, and I'm speaking to you and to everybody, and you really want, actually want results, it's great to learn. I love to learn too, but you also want to take your life to the next level in terms of wealth or abundance in any area, health, relationships, etc. Then, or your work in the world. I can actually feel in your energetic field, by the way. I know you didn't ask, but I can feel it very strongly. A bigger vision or a dream you have for your life that you're not actually going for. You know what I'm talking about? Do you know that? Yes, you do. So I can see it really strongly. And it's like this big dream, and it's coming through this small self-concept. And you're so much bigger than you're giving yourself credit for and permission to feel and to be. So take that, and I hope you'll do something about it. But I can see it in your field